back in your life like a dating app after you found your husband at a Coldplay concert. It's the Golden Ticket Show. I've been sitting on that one for like 3 days. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Golden Ticket Show's college football preview. This week will be the Big 12. I'm here with my co-hosts, Kev and Don. Steve will be joining us a little bit later in the show. Joe's got the night off tonight, so we will not hear his hot takes on the Big 12 unless he's chilling in the comments. Fellas, how we doing going into – we are now 2 weeks away from wrapping up our college football preview. We're about a month away from the first week of college football. How are y'all feeling coming into the next couple of weeks?
I'm ready. I'm tired of baseball at this point in college football.
My poor guy Kev over here is fighting for his life.
I need something else.
Man, it's bad timing for me to hit the hot streak too. I was sitting there last night. I said I just know these guys are not paying a damn bit of attention to baseball, and I'm sitting here analyzing everything.
Yep.
I think I'm just overanalyzing everything. That's what I'm doing.
Dude, I've done that with all my pitchers this week, and everyone that I just said I'm staying away from because I couldn't come to a decision is like killed it.
This is how it works, right?
Yeah, I said I said I wasn't gonna take Glass now. Boom, 10 Ks. I wasn't gonna take Sanchez, 11 Ks. Took Manea, got hooked at 5. So. So, all right, well, let's get started. We're going to start with Arizona. Looking at their win total for the season. It's not even showing up for me. What the hell?
5.5 is what I have.
5.5? Okay. 5.5 their win total. Looking at their team, a lot of new transfers coming in. Quarterback is the same as last year's. They brought in Braden Locke as his backup. They're almost half their offensive line is transfers coming in. Games at home against Kansas State, Hawaii, Weber State, Oklahoma State, BYU, Kansas, and Baylor. On the road in conference against Iowa State, Houston, Colorado, Cincy, and Arizona State to end the year. Was this yours, Don? Or is this Kev?
I think it might have been Joe.
Was this a Joe?
Yeah, who had Group D? I don't remember who had Group D.
Group D was Joe.
Joe had Group D because he liked the D.
Yeah.
That was the joke yesterday.
Diddy implied.
I'll go. Brett Brennan's second season in Arizona. They move on from Dino Babbers as their OC. It was supposed to be a match made in heaven, but it honestly was horrendous to watch. Fafita comes back. Kind of a shaky year last year. Just under 3K, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. They get Braden Locke to come in from Wisconsin to back him up. I thought he played decently well last year. Obviously, them losing Tech's going to hurt. They bring in Chris Hudson from Washington State, who had over 680 yards last year. Luke Wysong comes in from New Mexico with 836 receiving yards. So that helps them up there. Their offensive line, I think, is what's the big issue for me. Last year, they had NFL caliber guys. They have 2 starters that graduated. And then another guy that left in the transfer portal. So they returning one offensive starter, which is their right guard, which definitely hurts. Defensively, they struggled last year. I think their secondary is probably their strength, but injury bug hit hard last year for them. So if they can bounce back, I think that they have a chance to. You said it was 4.5, correct?
5.5 is what I have.
5.5. I'm assuming that plus money.
It's even right now, -110.
I think they'll start off 2-0, then they'll lose the next 2. They'll go 2-2. Oklahoma State's at home. I think they could beat them. That's 3. maybe at Colorado or Houston. I don't know. I'm not really in love with this team. I like their under. I don't think they go over that 5.5 mark.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you. I think 5.5 is too high. If it was 4.5, I'd probably take a second look and maybe hop on that. I don't know where they get 5 wins from. I mean, their first 2 they should win, but outside of that, like you said, they can probably steal one at Houston or at Colorado. Probably sneak one at home against Oklahoma State, as you all mentioned. Potentially at Cincinnati, and maybe at home at Kansas. But like all these games, outside of their first 2 games, the rest of the ones that are potentially winnable are really toss-ups. If Fafita can play like he did 2 years ago, I think they can get there. But as you pointed out earlier, they don't have Ted anymore. I do like the tight end they brought in, Burnett, from. Now I'm drawing a blank. I think he was from Kansas.
I think so, yeah.
And then the running back they brought in, Mahidi from Texas State, I think will fit well into this offense. For me, I just don't see 6 wins. So I'm staying away altogether. But if you're going to pick something, I would advise to take the under.
As we welcome in the one, the only Stevie Fast Breaks coming in just in time as we just started our first team, Arizona. Where do you got the Wildcats this year?
Awful.
All right, next team. No.
It's hard for me to see I don't see a path. What's their line at? Like
5.5.
5.5. Nah, man. I mean, unless we get bounce back from their quarterback and he has a season like he had 2 years ago, they might be in some games. But then again, they're missing their NFL caliber wide receiver. So
Steve said something nice about
say
a
that. I was going to say, I'm surprised to hear him say that.
He just said NFL caliber. He's in the NFL. Wasn't that nice?
I walk into this. Wow! I just walked into that, huh? He's just ready. You're ready for this show, huh? You're just like, I can't wait to.
Dude, as soon as I knew we were doing the Big 12, all I could think was like, oh, there's gonna be a Hawaiian joke in here somewhere.
Yep. Without him being there, I don't see them competing in the Big 12 for a title. So I would take the under. I'm not betting this, but yeah, I don't see them being a issue for teams to run over in the Big 12.
No.
All right. So let's move on to the Sun Devils. Arizona State line is sitting at 8.5 right now. Best odds right now is BetMGM and DraftKings if you're here in New York. Looking at their roster, they brought in transfer Jalen Moss, brought in one offensive lineman and a new running back. Everyone else pretty much is the same on their first-string depth chart. Looking at their schedule, Northern Arizona, Mississippi State, Texas State are their non-con. Conference road games, Baylor, Utah, Iowa State, Colorado. Home games, TCU, Texas Tech, Houston. They do play West Virginia in their last non-con game, right? Because they're not Big 12, right? West Virginia or my black?
West Virginia is Big 12 now.
Yep. It feels weird seeing them Big 12. West Virginia at home, and then Arizona to finish out the year. Where are we seeing this team? Are we seeing a 9-3?
So I'm a lot higher on this team than probably other people are. I really like Sam Levitt. I also like their coach Dillingham. I think what he's building there, he's establishing a culture of doing things the right way, performing the right way, and I think that's going to come through with guys like Levitt. The transfer from Army, Udo. I don't expect him to be quite as good as Scatterbo, but I think he fits that kind of style of running. So again, I don't think he'll have quite the same year, but he'll be very effective. And then Jordan Tyson is an elite wide receiver in my opinion. I mean, if he doesn't get hurt, he'll be a first round wide receiver draft pick in my opinion. I like their safeties. Their offensive line scares me a little bit, but they do have a pretty good center. And I can't think of his first name, but last name Coleman.
Ben.
I think it's good to have somebody who's taking care of the snaps, in charge of your offensive line, who's really good, right? And so I think just all around this team, I just really like them. And then when I look at their schedule, the only 2 losses I have are at Baylor, at Iowa State. I think they go 10-2. So the fact that they're only at 8.5 and it's plus money, I've already hammered that.
8.5 is plus money, you said?
On FanDuel. I can't remember what I got it at.
Plus 110 on FanDuel. Every other book has minus 105.
I mean, I definitely have them at 9-3. I don't have them winning the Big 12 like other people do. I think Kanye Udo is a great fit for them. I think he fits the mold of what Scatterbo was, a dynamic, hard-running back that they desperately need. You said elite wide receiver for Jordan Tyson. The last time that Arizona State had an elite wide receiver that made it to the NFL, it was N'Keal Harry, and he stunk. So I'm a little worried. Just so we're clear here. Their offensive line, they developed, and just the numbers that they had in the run game. I mean, Scatterbo made them look 10,000 times better than they were. So I take it with a grain of salt. I just like this. I like their defense just because in their secondary they have 2 guys. Miles Ghost Rouser and Adrian Boogie Wilson. 2 great nicknames that I'm excited for. I think so. You said that you thought their only losses would be
at Baylor and at Iowa State.
You don't think at Utah off a bye, or even Texas Tech at home?
I think they could potentially lose those games. I don't think Utah's that good. Utah's a tough place to play regardless of how good that team is, but I feel like I said, I'm really high on him. I think Dillingham's doing it the right way. I think Levitt is going to have an outstanding year. And if Tyson's healthy, there's nobody in this conference that can guard him if he's healthy.
Do you
I
think
think they're going to put up a lot of points?
Well, let's ask this question, and I know that Steve has probably thought about this question in his head that he wants to ask you. Do you think Levitt's the best quarterback in this conference?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So this is.
I think it's close, but yes.
So this is where the disagreement comes in. But I get you. Trust me. Listen, last year
I think it's close.
He was great last year. Don't get me wrong. 29 total touchdowns, 3,322 total yards of offense from him was good. But I feel like the reason why people think like Sam Levitt has a chance to be a budding star. I'm not going to deny it. But I think people forget the fact that he had such an elite back to throw off of. And that's why I thought his numbers were a little bit higher than they would be. And I think that's why it helped Tyson. So if Udo can do that kind of thing for them, then I think Levitt will be fine.
Yeah.
But there's like a little...
I don't think Udo is that much of a drop back. I mean, he obviously doesn't have the same skill set. He's not going to be throwing the ball 50 yards down the field against Texas. But, like, he has the same kind of running style. That's why I think they'll be okay. And with the addition of Jalen Moss, if you double Jordan Tyson, which if you don't, you're just an idiot. I think Jalen Moss gets opens more with his speed and his kind of ability, I don't know, scat-wise, I guess is how I want to describe it. I think they're dangerous. And I don't think their schedule is honestly that difficult.
No, I think that's why I had him in 9-3 because I think they lose a couple road games. But, I mean, I don't know. It's just like this team caught everybody off guard last year. And now that I feel like teams are going to be dialed in a little bit more to them, I think that they're going to have a little bit of a bigger target on their back. And that's why I think there could be a little bit of the pressure that struggles. Because when they played Texas in the college football playoff, they had zero, like, Like we made it to college football playoff. No one thought we'd get here. Like this is full on. Like anything can happen here. Like we're playing balls to the wall, no fucks given. Like we're playing with house money basically, and that's now the expectations are up there. So now you have to live up to the expectations, and I'm curious to see if Dillingham can.
Also, you got to remember, man, how the Big 12 ended. It wasn't like they were the clear head and shoulders best team in the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're set up for another year of that, personally.
Yeah. So
I think Iowa State's going to be in the mix. I think Kansas State is as well. And they're probably
whose mic's going crazy right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's mine, but
I'm not
let
moving.
me know if it is.
I'll go mute.
Me?
See, let me mute Don.
Who's on mute right now?
I stopped him. I muted Don.
Okay.
Fucking this piece of shit, dude. The better.
It might be just catching up like background noise from you, Don.
Yeah, that's probably.
I don't think it's background noise, bro. I'm not watching nothing.
See, last week it was my cat in the background. Now
I know sometimes your fan picks up stuff. I don't know.
I can go fan on right now, bro. I'm raw dogging. That's
what I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think.
So Danny, right there at the 17-minute mark, clip that.
There we go.
You need to upgrade to my mic. Is what you need to do.
Listen,
Look
buddy.
Man gets a pop filter. Man gets a pop filter, and all of a sudden now he's just handing out podcasting tips.
Just snowball. They're like $30.
Bro, the world is.
This one was only like 80.
Oh, Steve. See, I wore my hat backwards because I thought you were gonna go backwards today, and I got
God damn! Put that hat on.
I was showing Steve this earlier. They got a Blues Brother Cubs collection.
That's not what I'm worried about, bro.
Yeah, I know it's not what you're worried about. That's why I put that shit on quick.
You leave my bald brother alone, bro.
Bro,
you see how quickly that shined off this light here? I woke the fucking neighbors up.
I gotta look like a peanut over there. God damn. Had me all nervous and shit.
Kev, I mean, over 8.5. That's doable. but
shout out Steve for trying to transition that really fast.
Oh man, I gotta
keep it on schedule.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Bro, I'm sorry, bro. He took the hat off and I saw fucking boom.
Oh man, but yeah, I still agree with the over. I just don't agree with that Baylor game.
Yeah, I know you don't because you're high on Baylor.
Hey, that's a great transition, Danny. The next team is
Baylor. Looking at their win total for the year, 7.5 at +110 on FanDuel. But that's currently here in New York. I don't know. It might be different on other books. Looking at their schedule, we got Auburn at home to start the year, on the road against SMU, Samford at home, conference games at home against Arizona State, Kansas State, UCF, Utah, and Houston, road games against Oklahoma State, TCU, Cincy, and Arizona. Steve, I know this one's your team. You're high on them. The line set at 7.5 with a team that won 8 games last year. They're bringing back a lot of their offense. Are they hitting 8-4 at minimum again?
Absolutely. I really like their quarterback. Sawyer Robinson. I think he showed me a lot at the end of the season when they finally settled on him being the starter. Over 2,000 yards, 28 touchdowns. Great way to end the season. They started horrible, and they cannot do that. Dave Aranda's had this is his first winning season or second winning season out of 5 with Baylor. He can't afford a flop this year. If he has a flop this year, they're done. So I'm not saying he's on a hot seat this season, but they can't start the way they started last season. And they have a tough start to their season now. I mean, with Auburn, I think that's a winnable game at home. Against SMU, that's a toss-up game to me because they're at SMU. SMU is not the same team they were last year. If this was last year's game, I would be on SMU. But after those first two games, playing against Samford, Arizona State, I think that's a win. Oklahoma State, what's that?
Said stop the presses. Arizona State will win. Boy, Kev out here, bro.
So the game that we're gonna know if my prediction about this team is on the right track after game one. With that Auburn game, that's kind of gonna set the tone to their season. We're gonna know a lot about both those teams going back to our SEC covers about Auburn, but that's a game where they definitely need to put their stamp on. They win that game handedly. I definitely will feel great about the over 7.5. The Kansas State game, I don't see them beating Kansas State, even though it's going to be at home for them. It's going to be a close game. I still think Kansas State gets that game on them. At TCU, I think they're a better team than TCU, even though TCU is going to be one of those teams I feel are going to be a sneaky team that might be in the mix for the Big 12. At Cincinnati, Don, I know you may listen, man. Listen, they could do it. They could.
Gary Patterson back all of a
sudden. Central Florida, that's a win. They're playing at home against Utah at home. Utah's not a great road team. That's a win. At Arizona, Kev already went over Arizona. They're the better team out of that one, and they close the season out at home against Houston. So yeah, I definitely see over 7.5 for this team.
I think with this team, the big thing is, as much as we want to talk about how good Sawyer Robinson developed in the second half of the season after they started off 2-4, I really want to shut out now redshirt sophomore running back Bryson Washington. Him getting over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns last year was like absolutely impressive. Him and Dawson Pendergrass were a good 1A and 1B. They had 18 rushing touchdowns combined, which definitely helped the development of Robertson. Especially with, when Finn went down, a lot of people were like, yeah, it's Aranda's done. We're done. Let's see who we can get. But I really like this offensive line. 7.5 to me, I think it's a lit. I see. I'm looking at their defense. I really like their defense. I think that's a big thing. I have them at 7-5. I have them losing to Auburn in game one. I have them losing to SMU, I believe. Arizona State's a toss-up for me. I think they lose at Cincy. I think they lose one of the Utah-Houston games at home. Dave Aranda can't do it, in my opinion. There's no way that this team riles off more than 7 points, in my opinion. This is a bowl team, 100%. I just think they're going to get in their own way. And I think that their defense, because last year they gave up, I was looking earlier, they gave up in conference action nearly 6 yards per snap in conference play. That can't happen if you want to compete in the Big 12. So that's where the cookie crumbles. So I'm going to say under for now. Steve, I hope you're wrong because I like the Baylor Bears and I want them to be better. But
they did address the D-line issues. They did have 2 transfers for the D-line. That's why that Auburn game is huge. We'll know what type of team they are. Let's say they do lose that game, but if they're not Swiss cheese up there, then I feel better going forward throughout the season.
Yeah, it's that first 4 weeks. If they somehow are 1-3 after the first 4 weeks, they're not getting to 8 wins. Like they got to go at least 2-2, in my opinion. I mean, they did bring in some help on the wide receiver end too, from Kobe Prentice from Alabama, and then was it Kylo Wilson? I don't think that's his first name now, but another wide receiver And then to Steve's point, they brought in Fobbs White from Tulane, edge rusher. I think a lot of their defense is going to depend on how quickly he can fit in and get to the quarterback and break some of that run up as well. I have him at 8-4. So I would take the over 7.5, especially since it's plus money. But they could like to Don's point, they could easily drop a game they shouldn't, because I don't trust their coach as much as some of the others in the Big 12.
All right, so moving on to a team that's had a lot of action and news in the last couple weeks. BYU is no longer BYU, as their quarterback has transferred to Tulane. Looking at BYU this season, Don, what line did you get them at?
So early on, I had them at, I believe it was 8.5, but I haven't seen what the updated line is since.
6.5.
So DraftKings still has 8.5 at plus money. FanDuel has 7.5. MGM has 6.5. Every other book, at least here in New York, does not have a lineup anymore for now.
Let me see what I can see right
But the difference between 6.5 and 7.5 is like 8 points.
I have 6.5 and minus 120.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I got that at 130. FanDuel has 7.5 at minus 122.
Okay. Let's be honest here. This offense is completely different without Retzlaff. Quarterback play, like there's a huge quarterback battle right now between Kay Helsted, Trayson Borget, and true freshman 4-star Bear Bachmeier. I have this team at 8-4. I think they lose 2 more games. I think they go 6-6. I think they'll make a bowl game. But I would just stay away from BYU specifically this year. It's going to be a team that I fade very much so. Maybe not when they're at home, because I mean they got K-State at home. I think K-State can beat them there. Arizona at home, Oklahoma State at home. I think those are wins.
The Holy Wars at home.
Yeah. So I think there's a good chance that BYU can. Their defense is good. Don't get me wrong. Defense is good. The quarterback play is what's going to keep me from looking at BYU's success long term.
Any other comments on BYU?
Well, they brought in the Bachmeier brothers from Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger and Bear. No, I mean, to Don's point, without Retzlaff, I'm staying away. I don't know what this team's going to be. Their defense should still hold up. But I don't even know if that second game at home against Stanford's a win now. I mean, it should be, I guess, but without Retzlaff, I think almost all their games are back in play. So it's I just don't know who they are. I would stay away personally.
All right. So let's move on to Cincy. Looking at the team, they brought in a new RB1, transferred in. We have almost an entirely new wide receiver room where 5 of their 6 top receivers are all transfers. Line is set at 6.5 at plus money. Looking at their schedule, they got Nebraska at Arrowhead, Bowling Green, and Northwestern State at home. Conference road games against Kansas, Oklahoma State, Utah, and TCU, and 5 home games in conference against Iowa State, UCF, Baylor, Arizona, and BYU. Kev, this team was 5-7 last year. Can they even get to bowl eligible? Can they make it to 500?
I don't think so, personally. I mean, they have a stud on their defensive line, Dante Corleone.
my guy.
They have a stud cornerback, or maybe he plays safety. I can't remember. McDoom. So defensively, I'm not all that worried about him. It's on the offensive side of the ball for me that I still have question marks. I don't really trust Sorsby that much. I think other people might, but I just don't. I know Walker's supposed to be pretty good. Their running back supposed to have a pretty decent year for them. I don't see where points come from. I think they lose that game at Arrowhead to Nebraska. Nebraska travels well. That should be a home game for them, even though it's at Arrowhead. I don't even count out Bowling Green, honestly. They should win that game, but I think Bowling Green could surprise them there. They'll definitely beat Northwestern State. At Kansas, for me, is another toss-up. They're going to lose to Iowa State. UCF at home, toss-up, but they probably win. At Oklahoma State's probably a loss. Baylor, loss. Now with everything going on with BYU, maybe they steal one there, but then again, I think they lose at TCU at home. What was their line? I don't even remember.
6.5 plus money.
Yeah, I'm under that. I think at best they become bowl eligible, but I think looking over their schedule, I'd probably have them at 5-7.
You and me are on the same wavelength, Kevy boy.
I mean, maybe they steal that BYU game, they go to 6-6, but anyway, that's where I'm at.
Do you think Scott Satterfield is on the hot seat this year?
No, I think it's another year. I think with where they're at, I mean, Sorsby played decent for them last year. He's the reason why they won 5 games. Bringing a guy like Tawi Walker, I think, helps the offense, not hurts necessarily. Their defense is good. Bowling Green, Northwestern State should be wins. I think they can beat Oklahoma State. I think they can beat Arizona. I think they can beat BYU. I think that's your 5 wins right there. I don't see them. I don't see a world where they go over 5-7. And if they do, I will happily be wrong. I just don't see it.
All right. So moving on to Colorado. Looking at their win total, it's set at 6.5. A lot of new transfers coming in. They had 4 wide receiver transfers come in, almost an entirely new offensive line of seniors and grad students. Everyone except for the left tackle is.
Had to get my Dion shades on.
Do we need to give him solo cam for this one?
No, you don't have to do that.
Damn.
I'm already making myself look.
Look, I can see the shine in my head through your glasses somehow. Still, looking at their schedule.
Don a pair of these when he's coaching this year, man. Even though it's at night, it's cool, man. You'll be all right.
We got Georgia Tech, Delaware at home. Their other non-con game is Wyoming at home. On the road in conference, they have Houston, TCU, Utah, West Virginia, Kansas State. At home against BYU, Iowa State, Arizona, and Arizona State. Line is set at 6.5 at plus money on just about every single book here. Are we seeing Are we seeing an over here on this, Steve? Are we seeing a at least bowl eligibility? Where you have
they'll get their 6 wins, maybe, but I don't see this team competing like they did last year, being the mix for the Big 12 at the end of the season. Quarterback situation,
Steve.
I think. Yeah, man. I think Seltzer should be the starting quarterback off the rip. The only thing that kind of helps this team out is their home games, but last year their D line was awful. They gave up. If I'm trying to pull up the stats here. they couldn't stop anybody from running the ball on them. And then they couldn't run the ball. And the only time they were successful in their actually the wins they got last year, it was when they actually ran the ball. So if we see a change in play call, I mean, their quarterback doesn't seem like he likes to use his legs. So they're going to still have a guy who's going to stay in the pocket there. Unless they end up going to the freshman. But I don't see him starting initially off the bat unless they're just horrible with Salter at quarterback. But I don't expect a crazy season. I kind of expect Colorado to kind of fade away from the spotlight this year in the Big 12. I know Deion's there, but going through Georgia Tech, I don't see them beating Georgia Tech, even though they're playing at home and Georgia Tech's coming to them. Delaware should be a win. At Houston, I think that's a tough game for them. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're going to run the ball. They'll ink out a win. Wyoming might be a tougher game than people probably expect for Colorado. BYU's defense will probably carry them over Colorado. At TCU, yeah, I'm right now talking about this. 6 wins is like tough. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but yeah, my expectations for Colorado this year are not high at all.
I mean, they shouldn't. I mean, listen, today, does anybody else hear that, or is it just me?
Yeah,
I think it's Kev.
Have you watched something that we need to know about?
Kev's got elevator music playing in his house right now.
No,
was that why wrap it up, B? Were you trying to wrap it up? B?
No. I don't know why it got louder. But I'm watching Django.
Bro, all of a sudden, like Steve started talking, and I just say, wow. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
See, we're gonna hear nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Yeah, I have this team 4-8, 5-7. They're. I mean, let's put it this way: they're not going to beat either Arizona State or Kansas State at the end of the year. Salter's good, but he's not like world beater good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think there's a chance that Deion goes, buddy, you ain't got that in you. Julian, you up. Like halfway through. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what this team looks like. I'm curious. I'm excited. I'm going to go under. Kev, are you too enticed by it? If you were watching?
No,
Stages?
well, I mean, Django is a good movie, but no.
Watching Django while we're doing.
It's I mean, I think with BYU, I would still bet the under, but can they steal that BYU game since it's at home? Because maybe they can go 7-5 because of that, right? I mean,
well, that's why I had them at 5-7. I had them losing that game originally.
Okay. Well, I mean, Arizona State, Kansas State, I agree with you. Iowa State, that's 3. At TCU, that's 4. First game against Georgia Tech, that's 5. Who else do you have them losing?
I think. Oh, go ahead.
At Utah?
Yep.
Okay, I can see that. And then BYU becomes a toss-up, but that BYU defense is good enough. This Colorado offense is not going to be as good without Hunter or Shedeur.
Hey man, they got to travel across the country to go old Morgantown, man.
Yeah. I mean, can't count out Rich Rod. So I don't hate that either.
Can't?
I would go the under as well. I see a world where they could go 7-5, but I'll stick with the under.
I'd like to live in that world, Kip. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sounds fun.
All right, let's go on to Houston. We got
Do we have
yeah.
to?
So this is where I have 4 different books have this line at 6.5 at plus 120. I have one book at 5.5 at minus 200. Looking at there's notable transfers. The Connor Wegman from Texas A&M is taking over as QB1. Stephen F. Austin, Rice, and Oregon State is their non-con home games in conference against Colorado, Tech, Arizona, West Virginia, and TCU. Road games against Oklahoma State, Arizona State, UCF, and Baylor. Don, I know you love Cougars, but are these Cougars you like?
These aren't my type of Cougars. I'll tell you that much. Connor Wegman coming in. He's doing a battle with Zion Chris for the starting quarterback job. I get this team at 3-9. Let's be honest here. This team's not good. This is not a good football team. Offensively, their offensive line's decent, but Willie Fritz, defensively they're fine. Willie Fritz is their secondary is putrid. I got them winning 3 games, including 2 in the first 2 weeks against Stephen F. Austin and then at Rice. And they might even lose at Rice. I don't know.
Hey, man, they got that triple option now. Houston might not be able to handle that.
Just saying. But
So
yeah,
you're taking
I'm gonna fade the fuck out of Houston this year.
So you're taking under 5.5 at plus 160.
Yeah.
I might add that one right now on my card.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, man. Because Kev, what do you see, man?
Kev just said he didn't want to talk about it. Don't talk to him.
Kevin tried to pull a Joe and say next.
Yeah, did we have to? Like the only player on the team I like is the tight end kid from Wisconsin. Was it Kosiel? Like I think he's a stud, but outside of that, I mean, do we really trust Wegman or Weigman?
No.
I
No.
Did you not hear my fart noise when you said Connor Wegman?
like what Don said, this defense is terrible.
No, that's
I don't know
secondary.
if I have him.
Front seven's not bad. The secondary is putrid.
I don't know if I have him as bad as 3-9, but I would take the under as well. I think best case scenario they're 5-7.
Yeah, if I could get them at plus money, under 5.5, that seems like the steal of the year.
Yeah, I'm taking that one right now.
I mean,
but if we have nothing else to talk about with the Cougars, let's move on to Iowa State. Win total is set at 7.5 at plus 110 is the best odds I've found. Under at minus 125. Looking at this team, they only brought in 9 total transfers offensively and defensively. Looking at their schedule, Kansas State in neutral location. I think that's the game in Dublin, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. South Dakota at home, Iowa at home, Arkansas State on the road, Arizona at home, Cincy, Colorado on the road, BYU, Arizona State at home, and then home away home against TCU, Kansas, Oklahoma State. This was Joe's group, so I'll leave this one open to anyone.
Let me open the floor. Rocco Becht is the name that you need to keep an eye on. You know why? Big gambling guy, Rocco Becht is. Big gambling guy. He is a gamer. 3,500 yards last year, 25 passing touchdowns, 8 rushing touchdowns total, 33 overall. I think what hurts them is Carson Hansen's going to be their lead back. I just don't think they have a good one. They lose both of their top receivers in the NFL draft, Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel. Obviously, with both of them each getting over 1,000, definitely helped. So I think they take a step back. I think they go 8-4. I think their defense in that 3-3-5 stack is looking pretty solid. especially up front with let's see, Zamir Hawk, Tamatoa McDonough, Miles Mendezoon, Dominique Orange, and my favorite name, Von Troy Malone. So there's some talent on the D line. Linebackers are good. Secondary is going to be where they get banged up a little bit, I think, this year. Looking at their schedule, week 1, I'll go over why I don't like their week 0 matchup. I think they'll beat South Dakota. Cal, cover your ears if you're watching. I think they beat Iowa. So I think they start the 3-1. They beat Arizona 4-1. Maybe slip up there. I think they lose to Arizona State. I think they lose at TCU. And I think there's a chance they lose one of Cincy, Colorado, or Oklahoma State. So I have them at 8-4.
I hate that they're playing Farmageddon like first week of the season. Like a conference game off the rip. It's a horrible start.
That's what they did last year.
What are you gonna do, Steve?
Yeah, it was what Florida State, Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech money line was the easiest play of the year.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a weird to lose the rival game. If they're going to do a conference game, they should just picked BYU or something. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing Farmageddon in Ireland? Anyways, I have them around that number 2. That
farms and potatoes. You hear the potato famine?
Yeah. Yes, Kev. Yep. Just still doesn't justify playing that game there.
Gonna be a really rough
Ireland's
moment of
all
silence.
about farms. Where else do you want farm again?
Yeah, they're gonna be out farming, not
Farm
watching
country.
American football. Like, yeah, let's.
Bro, you kidding me? Do you not remember the crowd that was there last year? All those guys are gonna be drunk by the end of the second quarter.
You had
Irish people are drunk when they wake up. Man.
I'm staying away from
Whoa.
It's
Whoa,
first
whoa,
it's
whoa,
Hawaiians.
whoa.
First it's
Whoa,
Hawaians. Now it's Irish.
Now,
Whoa.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying.
I know a British ancestor
Whoa.
when I
I
see
know,
it.
right?
Whoa.
I'm actually
Hey now, Danny, 48 minutes. Clip it, please. Wow.
I didn't say that as a bad thing. I don't know why y'all are taking that as a bad thing. Maybe y'all need to look at yourselves.
Well, okay, so let's go over your track record. Let's go over your track
First we
record.
hate
Kev.
Hawaiians, now we hate
Started a
Irish
Bearded
people.
Baker
I'm
show
the only
with
one who
he
likes
doesn't
everybody.
like Tet because he hates Hawaiians. You called Kyle Schwarber an Indian.
I'm not the one who hates Ted. I love Ted. He's gonna be the rookie of the year.
He's not. Yeah,
Is there a part of the College of Youth show I miss where you guys just hate crime
not
and different
falling for this
minorities
race
each
bait.
week?
I was gonna win 8 games. Let's go. Iowa State's gonna win
Iowa
over.
State.
Iowa State's gonna hit over. They're over. Let's move on. Kev's rage baiting us, man.
No, he's rage baiting you.
Anybody.
Uh,
I just told y'all to look at yourselves.
Yeah, look at yourself, Steve. That's what he said. He goes, yo, Steve, I'm looking at you when I say this. Look at yourself, boy.
He is watching Django right now.
was about
You
to
know
say,
that?
I'm
Oh
watching
no,
Django right now.
little
Yeah, I
bit
was gonna
coming
say.
up right now. Huh?
Just saying.
he's like writing down things to say to you in the next podcast. Like, oh, that's a good one.
Can't wait to use this one against Steve next time.
All right. Well, let's get the show back on a good track. Looking at Kansas.
That's your good
now.
track is Kansas football.
That's the next one to get us stop talking about Django and Chain.
Hey, I would like to
Mine
say
is
this.
that-
Last week Kevin wasn't here, and we were very much so on topic the majority of the time.
Okay. I'm the quietest one in the group. How am I getting y'all off topic?
Oh my God! How y'all now the y'all's coming out. Oh jeez.
Got an itch to whip for some reason.
Pow!
All right.
All right, looking at their roster, they brought in a lot of transfers in the wide receiver room. Brought in LaShawn Williams from Iowa. Line is set at 7.5 at plus money. You can get under 7.5 at minus 120. And their scheduled non-con is going to be Fresno State and Wagner at home. Fun fact: the Wagner game is right before Wagner plays LIU. Steve, just wanted to point that out there. Look ahead spot for Wagner.
Trap game.
Road game against Missouri. Home conference games against West Virginia, Cincy, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Utah. And road games in conference against UCF, Texas Tech, Arizona, and Iowa State. Kev, this one's for you. 7.5 is the line too high?
I think so, but it may be worth to take it just for the plus money. But I personally would. I'd take the under. I'm not a big believer in Daniels, their quarterback. I mean, they got two decent running backs in Hishaw and Williams. I like their offensive line, but overall, I think the team is not. I think they probably bowl eligible, probably go 6-6. Best case scenario for me. But I don't see them really doing anything in the Big 12 or causing any ruckus. I mean, unless they do something like they did last year, where they start like 1-5 and then rattle off 4 straight games to fuck everything up for the top contenders in that conference. But I don't see them, being a threat to win the Big 12.
Steve, Don, anything?
I got them 7-5 just because I think when you're looking at their schedule, Fresno State Wagner should be wins. At Missouri will be a tough one. But they get Cincy at home, they get Oklahoma State at home, they get Utah at home. I think those types of games are easy wins. If you can steal one on the road at like UCF or Arizona, I think you can go 7-5 easily. I just don't think they go higher than that. And I think that obviously Jalen Daniels coming into last year had some hype around him because of what he's done during his time at Kansas, but I think it was very much so subpar performance for him last year.
Yeah, I agree with that. He lost their running back, right, Kev?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
in New Orleans, I think.
Okay, yeah. So that was a big part of their offense last year. I don't think they have a dog to step up and fill those shoes immediately right now. So I'm taking the under. I just don't see it. I mean, I like Lance and what he's done with the team, for what he's done with Kansas, the situation at Kansas, but yeah, this screams under to me.
All right. Moving on to Mike Gundy in Oklahoma State. Line is set at 4.5 and minus.
Kansas State.
Yeah. Well, time out. Well,
Oh, I skipped it. That's my fault. I switched one. That's my fault.
I know you're hype on them Cowboys, Danny, but we gotta.
How dare you fucking skip the Kansas State Wildcats? Of all the years to skip Kansas State, this is not the year to do so.
All right, excuse me. Going over Kansas State. Line total is set at 8.5. Looking at their depth chart, they again is another team who's brought in a lot of wide receivers, 4 wide receiver transfers coming in. Looking at their schedule, we already talked about Iowa State. We got North Dakota and Army at home. Conference games on the road: Arizona, Baylor, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Utah, and home games against UCF, TCU, Texas Tech, and Colorado to round out the season. Don, you have been high on this team. You've been telling us how much you love them this year. Why don't we bring it to the show? What do you got on Kansas State?
Yeah, I mean, let's call a spade here. Steve, if you remember about a month ago, we were talking about, just overall teams that we liked to win conferences and stuff like that. And this was a team that caught our eye because they weren't the highest odds, right, in the conference because Arizona State was. Everybody was very high on them. Now, if you look at it, Steve, they have the best odds to win the Big 12. Now, I don't want to say that I have some sort of influence here because I definitely don't. But getting them at plus 500 is a fucking steal to win the Big 12. Avery Johnson is going to ball out this year. Last year, 2,700 yards in the air, just under 700, 32 total touchdowns. They get Dylan Edwards back. Obviously, DJ Giddens leaving hurts, but they get him back. J.C. Brown's going to be a big target for him this year. Jerron Tibbs, Garrett Oakley, and Will Swanson from the tight end position. Offensive line is probably ideally the best in conference, in my opinion. Defensively, I just think this team is legit. So you can get them right now to win the Big 12 at plus 500. The big one that I like, because I have them to win, and because they're plus 500 to win the conference, they're plus 420 to make the college football play. Where is the disconnect here? That we're getting this double money sniper here at this price. Now, last year, this is my Boise State team of last year. Last year, a bunch of people that I talked to were like, what is your quote unquote like surprise team that's going to shock people and make the college football playoff at the price? And it was Boise State for me last year because of Ashton Jeanty. And originally, it was because of what I thought was going to be the quarterback play of Malachi Nelson. It was not. And I'll hand up, but still hit the bet. This team has all that potential to me. Avery Johnson coming in last year as a sophomore proved how good he can be. I think Matt Wells just brings him up that much higher. Chris Kleiman does a great job. They're a model of consistency. 10-2 is easily on the table here. Easily in the Big 12 championship. Easily beating anybody that they play in the Big 12 championship. It's all about the Wildcats this year, fellas. You gotta buy in now before it's too late. Because the lines are already moving.
Yeah, I'm high on the team too, man. Avery showed some growth last year, and I'm expecting more this year. They only have 4 road games. After that, I mean, besides 5 because they played freaking Ireland game 1. But
5 games.
What's that? I mean, 5 away games. I'm sorry, 5 away games.
Yeah.
We know Manhattan is one of the toughest places to play in the Big 12. It's lining up for a good season for Kansas State. It's hard to ignore that lineup for them. I definitely see them. I put money on them winning the Big 12. I do have them, and this is just because I like the Bears. I have a close game against the Bears at Baylor, playing in Waco. But outside of that game, there's nobody else except for maybe Iowa State that's going to really give Kansas State problems. And even then, the Baylor game is just because it's in Waco. I still think Kansas State's the better team overall than Baylor.
Yeah, I think they lucked out with their schedule. They got a pretty easy schedule. You get Texas Tech and TCU at home. Your road games are Arizona, Oklahoma State. Kansas should be a little difficult just because it's a rivalry. And then Utah, and like you said before, the Baylor game. I still think they go 9-3. I think they lose to Iowa State. I think they lose at Baylor, and I think they drop one of the games at home against either TCU or Texas Tech. But
I
take
you know what?
I
I know I'm
take the
getting ahead with
over.
that Texas Tech, but
I mean, I took the over. They're 8.5 is the line I got. I already bet the over. I think they get to 9 wins for sure.
so Gotham, get on that over, man. Don't be left out. Get that
I already
Big
had
12
it.
champ. Get
I already
get
had
that
it. Don said it the
playoff.
first time.
Okay, smart
All
man.
right. Now let's get into Oklahoma State. Line is set at I think it was 3.5. I got to pull that back up. 4.5 at -170, or if you're feeling bold, 5.5 at +160. They brought in 40 They brought in 40 transfers into the season. Looking at their schedule, UT Martin at home, Oregon on the road, Tulsa at home, Baylor, Houston, Cincinnati, Kansas State, and Iowa State are their home matchups. Arizona, Texas Tech, Kansas, and UCF are their road matchups. Steve, can Gundy get this team over 5 wins?
I think they can, but I gotta see how their quarterback situation is gonna line up, how that defense is gonna be, because defense got murdered last year on the run. I mean, they had a couple games where they gave up 300 plus yards. It might be that time where it's Mike Gundy's time to leave Oklahoma State. He's been there for so long. He had success while he was there. It just feels like the cracks are starting to show. He kind of was on his way out of the door last year, but I believe it was like adjustment to his contract, and he agreed to kind of take less money, I believe it is. If you guys know more, if you can correct me. I'm not that high on this team, to be honest with you. I don't see the same Oklahoma State threat that we've had years before. I mean, their quarterback play should be better this year. I guess Zane Flores better than what they had last year. I'm not high on this team. I don't want to spend too much time on them.
Don, anything?
This might be the worst Oklahoma State football team I've ever seen Mike Gundy coach. Like, this is bad. Yeah, I had them at 4-8 just like out of like common courtesy to Mike Gundy. It's just gonna be bad. Like there's nothing else to say besides the fact that they're gonna be bad.
Kev, anything?
No, I think they covered it all. Personally, I'm with them. I think they're a bad team.
This just in: Oklahoma State football this year is bad. Bad.
All right,
they're bad.
So let's move on to TCU. Line is set at 6.5 for the Horned Frogs. Only 11 transfers going into the season. Only thing notable is only 4 of them are listed as first stringers in the depth chart. Pretty much everyone except for 2 wide receivers were brought back. They brought in Joseph Manjack from US. Was he at USC last year or was he at Houston last year?
Houston last year.
Looking at their schedule, at North Carolina to start the year, Abilene Christian and SMU at home, conference road games, Arizona State, Kansas State, West Virginia, BYU, and Houston. Home games against Colorado, Baylor, Iowa State, and Cincinnati. Kev, Line at 6.5. Can TCU hit 7 wins? Are they going to stay bowl eligible, or are we looking at a bad season for the Frogs?
I think they stay bowl eligible. I mean, I'm actually kind of high on their quarterback Hoover. I think they're doing a dual running back. So I'm interested to see how that goes because I don't think either of them are all that great. But defenses, I think, should be better than last year. I just don't know if they can get to 7 wins personally. Like their schedule up front, probably too much of a homer, but I do think they lose the first game at North Carolina, and then they're going to beat Abilene Christian. But then you have SMU and Arizona State after that. So they're all of a sudden they're 1-3. They beat Colorado, they're 2-3. You lose to Kansas State, you're 2-4. Then you run into Baylor at West Virginia, Iowa State at BYU. I mean, all 4 of those games are going to be difficult. And then they get to end with at Houston and Cincinnati, 2 easier teams in the conference. So there's a potential there to get to 7, I think. I just personally don't see it right now, especially when I think they're going to start off pretty bad. Can they recover the second half of the season? I don't know. I think they do get to bowl eligible, like I said. I think Hoover's a good enough quarterback, and the defense will be solid enough to get them to at least be bowl eligible, but I don't see enough out of it outside of that.
Steve, Kev, anything?
Well,
Or Steve, Don? Yeah, I know. I'm tired.
I like. Grow up. I got Gavar. I like Gavari and Barnes coming over from UTSA. I think he's going to be a big help. Him and Jeremy Payne should be good receivers for him. Jordan Dwyer coming in from Idaho, I think should we talk about a little bit more? Guys, 1,200 yards last year, 12 touchdowns, over 135 targets. He's going to end up being Hoover's big target. I got him at 5-7. Sonny Dykes, I think, in this squad just doesn't have the wow factor they've had in years past. I got him 5-7, missed a bowl game.
Actually, I'm not completely up, but I mean, I think with Sonny Dykes coach, I think they'll get bowl eligible. I think they'll get there. Besides that, I mean, still, I think there will be one of those, maybe those sneaky teams. We'll get to see. Like I said, they're one of those teams I have to wait and see that first game against North Carolina, and I will be able to assess a little bit better with TCU. Right now, TCU is kind of I have like a question mark to me. It could be either good and they're in the mix, or they could be like what you're saying, Don, and just flat on their face. Because I mean, Arizona State, Colorado, Kansas State, Baylor, that's a tough stretch of games right there. And yeah, that's not pretty for them. So yeah, Horned Frogs down. We can move on.
Oh my god. Okay. So
I can't wait to edit that clip and get the horned
and cut the frog and put down.
and the
Ooh,
frog.
that's a good idea. Let me write that down.
Horns down with the hat on.
Fake news.
We can make a GIF out of it every time like Texas loses. We can just post it.
The Longhorns lose.
I'm fighting everybody.
Yo, chill, bro. Chill.
All right, let's move on to Texas Tech. Looking at their win total, it's sitting at 8.5 at +100. Notable transfers: they brought in a new running back, RB1, Quentin Joyner out of USC. Reggie Virgil came in from the MAC. Looking at their schedule, non-con is Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, Oregon State. Road games in conference: Utah, Houston, Arizona State, Kansas State, and West Virginia. Home games are Kansas, Oklahoma State, BYU, UCF. I think this is Steve. So what do you have on the Raiders? Can we see a 9-win season out of Texas Tech?
You know what?
In your
Regardless of
non-biased
anything
opinion?
bad happens to Texas Tech, I'm gonna go ahead and start and say, you know what? They spent $29 million allegedly. We don't know for sure the exact numbers of the NIL spend for these transfers here. I think this is going to be a awful experiment for them. They have a big donor now. They're trying to flex, and you will always be the little squad in Texas. And I think this is going to be an eye-opening year for them. I don't want to. I'm not buying into no hype. I know people are gonna. There's high expectations for them this year for the amount of money they spent on NIL this year. They do have a very generous schedule, playing Kansas at home, BYU at home, UCF at home, and like it's gonna be full gold. F the Red Raiders. And this
You're
is
a hater.
Yeah, absolutely 110%. This is nothing but a hate preview of the Texas Tech Raiders here. I have nothing good to say about these bums. I'm done. Under 9.5 wins.
You know where the haters are? They're in the building.
They are absolutely. I wear it proud on my chest, man. I just F your stupid ass tortillas on the field. F your fans. I can't stand Texas Tech and Michael Crabtree.
Now it comes out.
Don, what do you have for the Raiders?
I mean, I got them at 8-4. You know, I'm not a hater.
You're non-biased.
My non-biased opinion. Yeah. I think Quentin Joyner, getting him from USC definitely helps, especially with the loss of Taj Brooks. Which people are going to realize early on that Taj Brooks was a big reason why this offense flourished last year. But them getting Baron Morton back, senior quarterback, 3,300 yards, 27 touchdowns. He's a stud. Like you said, you like they have a favorable schedule. I mean, the two toughest teams in conference, Arizona State and Kansas State, they have to go to and play both those games in a 3-week span. So that's tough. They got to go to Utah. That's tough. West Virginia always plays them tough. I got 8-4. Jordan McGuire. I think this team, like, they can make some noise and potentially get a bowl game, especially if they can beat a Kansas State or an Arizona State. Maybe get into the. Steve's gonna be mad when I say this, but maybe get into the Big 12 championship. I think this is the third or fourth best team overall in conference.
I mean, hate aside, you're not wrong. Putting my hater hat back on.
Get you a hat that just says hater on it. So whenever we talk about a non-UT team, you could just be like, all right,
no,
let me get this out.
The hater, like the T is just gonna be the Longhorn logo.
Beautiful.
I saw a hat the other day. It was like some like fashion line where it was like all college logos, but they were upside down. And someone said, "Why is the Texas Longhorn upside down?" They said they're in distress after week 1.
We won't be. Moving on.
Kev, anything on the Raiders?
No, I don't think they said it all. They do have a favorable schedule, I think, too. They do have those 2 tough road games, but I'm with Don. I think they could potentially be the spoiler team of the Big 12, especially if they can beat Arizona State or Kansas State at their place.
All right, so let's move on to UCF.
We have
Looking
to.
at- I guess we have to.
Scott
You
Frost
gave
is back,
this-
baby.
you gave this one to Joe for a reason. I'm kidding.
We have to talk. Do we have to talk about this team? Yeah, so we can say that. Literally, I gave it to Joe so we could literally say that. No, I'm saying.
Their line is set at 5.5. Jacksonville State, North Carolina A&T, and UNC are non-con road conference games against Kansas State, Cincy, Baylor, Texas Tech, BYU. Home against Kansas, West Virginia, Houston, and Oklahoma State. I'll open this up to anyone, to all of y'all, I guess. Is there a shot at this team being bowl eligible this year?
Hell no. Bro, they have probably what is the grossest quarterback battle I've seen from a Power 14. It's disgusting. Jakari Brown, who coming over from Miami, or came over from Miami last year. You got Taven Jackson, who was the backup in Indiana last year. Then you got Cam Fancher, who literally absolutely stunk at Florida Atlantic. You get Jaden Nixon from Western Michigan, which I think is a big help, especially with them losing RJ Harvey. Their wide receiver room is gross. Don't want to talk about it. Offensive line's not good. Defensively, they could save themselves. I have them at 5-7, just based off of Scott Frost being back, like Steve said, but I don't see them going higher than that.
Yeah, Scott Frost has a project in front of him. This year is a wash year for UCF. Give him another year, he'll have a bowl eligible team. But this year,
Fucking recruit better. This team stinks.
Yeah.
Are they worse than Oklahoma State?
They could be. That's the issue. They could be.
They have potential.
They're starting Cam Fancher. They could be.
He's currently Fancher's listed as QB3. As of June 21st, last depth chart update, Taven Jackson's QB1, Jakari Brown QB2.
I can't believe he fucking went to a Power 4 school. I watched him play so many games last year. It was terrible.
Yeah, everybody was just quitting on that team last year. Last year was a mess.
All right, so let's move on to Utah. Looking at there we go.
Yeah.
Looking at their lines at 7.5 plus money is towards the under. They brought in Devin Dampier, Wayshawn Parker. All of their top 3 wide receivers as of now are incoming transfers. Looking at their schedule, on the road at UCLA, Cal Poly at home, and on the road at Wyoming. Conference games against Texas Tech, Arizona State, Colorado, Cincy, and Kansas State at home. Road against West Virginia, BYU, Baylor, and Kansas. Is this team gonna go for 8 wins this year or more?
What's that under at?
Plus money, 7.5.
I'm fucking hammering that shit. Fucking 8, 7.5.
Line's at 7.5 right now. Yep.
This fucking listen, Devon Dampier getting 31 total touchdowns last year with over 1,000 yards on the ground in New Mexico is an impressive feat. I'll give him that. Wayshawn Parker's all right. Wide receiver room is meh. Their defense isn't as good as it's been in years past. I think there's a chance this team might go under 500. I really love that Utah regular season win total under at +1. Maybe they go 6-6, but I think there's a high chance they go 5-7.
Kev?
I'm a little higher on them than Don is. I think 6-6 is probably where they are, but I could see him going 7-5, especially now that BYU's quarterback situation's up in the air. they have a pretty good offensive line. I would argue that it might be one of the better ones in conference. And then I like their defensive line as well. So I think they're going to dominate a lot of games on both sides of the line, which will keep them in games, which is why I think they'll be bowl eligible and potentially be 7-5.
Steve?
Those first 3 games are a gift, and UCLA, Cal Poly, at Wyoming. I don't see them beating Texas Tech, going across the country to go play West Virginia. Yeah, I'm taking under, especially that plus money. I feel like that's a must bet.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys on that one. I just don't see anything in this team that stands out to me. So let's get on to our last team here. West Virginia. Looking at their win total for the future, it is at 5.5 at plus 140. A lot of transfers coming in. I think, I'm not even joking, their entire second string and third string, except for 2 players, are all transfers. They had come in on the offensive side and on the defensive side. Looking at their schedule, Robert Morris, Ohio, Pittsburgh in the non-con. Road conference games, Kansas, BYU, UCF, Houston, Arizona State. Home games against Utah, TCU, Colorado, and Texas Tech. Don, I'll open this one up to you here. Team went 6-6 last year. Can this team stay bowl eligible again, or are we looking at below 500?
I think there's a chance they're below 500. I think Nico Marichal definitely has potential as their starting quarterback. Rich Rod coming back, definitely going to be a different vibe in this locker room for sure. I am curious to see how this team plays out. I am. I just non-con. Rob Morris in Ohio should start 2-0. The backyard brawl with Pittsburgh will be tough. At Kansas, 50-50. Utah at home, they should be able to handle that. And then after that, man, it's just all the teams you want to play at home you don't get.
Right.
So it's a toss-up for me. I think their defense is fine. Don't think their defense is going to be the problem. I think offensively, with the quarterback battle right now between – I mean, I'm telling you right now, if they start Jalen Henderson, that's just an absolute swing and a miss from Rich Rod. So we'll see what happens. But, again, we'll see. The Pittsburgh game is going to show me where this West Virginia team is, personally. So I'm going to say under for right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go 6-6.
Yeah, I'm under for this year. I just kind of echo what I said for Texas Tech. We have a lot of transfers. It's tough to predict how your team is going to go. You could have a situation like you had with Indiana last year, or you could just flop on your face. So
wasn't a majority of them? Didn't majority of them follow him, or am I wrong?
Yeah, from JMU,
Jack State.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but are they going to be ready for Big 12 play?
Yeah,
and I know Pittsburgh's not a conference game, but if the transfers show up and step up in a rival game like this is going to be after like getting smoked like they did last year at Pittsburgh, this time's at home, I think they could start the season 3-0. It's Rich Rod's backyard brawl, eat shit pit. We're gonna burn some couches.
You just hit a lot of people, don't you?
What's that?
You hit a lot of teams.
No, man, that's the slogan, man. That's the slogan, man. You in West
For
Virginia
like
the
7 months
ball,
out of the year, Steve just harbors anger and holds it in. Like he's so nice during baseball season. He's just harboring all this anger for football season.
when it comes to college football, man, like I hold grudges.
He saw
if I
tech.
don't like you, I don't care. Like I don't care if you got Jesus Christ at quarterback, I'm still hating.
He saw us mess with him about Texas losing live on air.
That's just in my DNA, man. I just gotta be. But real talk with that rival game. Rival games are weird. It's just I think West Virginia has a chance for their get back for last year. But still they'll be lucky to get bowl eligible. I don't think it's gonna be a amazing season first year for Rich Rod back at West Virginia.
Haters in the building.
I gotta find a shirt with that.
Bro, I'll fucking make you one.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Anything else on West Virginia?
Take me home.
I hope they go 6-6. I'd love to see it, but I don't like their schedule.
I got a funny story to share off air about West Virginia that I heard.
Person couches.
No, actually, you'll think it's comical.
Oh,
All right. Well, that is it for our Big 12 preview. Shout out to us. We did that in under an hour and a half.
It's because we didn't have Joe dropping in jokes, buddy.
That's why our show was over 2 hours a couple weeks ago. It was Joe and Kev. Joe's side stories, Kev getting us distracted with his casual racism.
Keyword there, casual.
Casual.
He's not
That'll-
racist. He's not a black friend.
You ever seen that video where the dude's like, black people? He's like, you like black people? No. That'll be- Yeah.
Clip that.
It's my show. It's my show.
Whoa. You guys hear this guy? My show. Me. This is my show. Motherfucker, every show I'm on is my show.
That'll be it for us here. Quick couple of housekeeping notes. If you guys have not already signed up for the Toys for Tot Charity League, please make sure you guys sign up at the link in the For Frequency's Sake bio. And while you're there, go ahead and like and subscribe to us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any other social medias you have. We're on there doing college breakdowns, sports betting, wrestling, fantasy football, everything. Make sure you guys subscribe to us over on Substack, where we're putting out a daily newsletter. Don's going through his preview for every single college football team. I've been doing a daily best bets for the MLB season. And we are starting up our fantasy forecast, where you can get a breakdown of the best players to take, stay away from, and sleepers to get for fantasy season as it's coming up. Thank you guys all for tuning in and listening. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.